cactus and succulent growers, it's Lynn. And today I'm going to be talking about an Opuntia that I have rooted very successfully in water. Now, when you think of cactus cuttings, the last thing you think of is they're going to root in water, because they always need to have a sort of dry environment to callus over and also root. Other than sort of epiphytic cacti that can be rooted in water, such as Ripsalis, Slumbergira, the Christmas and Thanksgiving, and also sort of epiphyllums as well. I successfully root a lot of them in water. But Opuntia, commonly known as the prickly pear, is usually the last one you'd think of rooting in water. However, this is a bit of an experiment I've done, and it has been a success. Now, this is a Opuntia pad that was given to me by my wonderful friend Danny Rose about a month ago now, and he gave me 3 gorgeous cuttings of this lovely Opuntia jamaicensis. And 2 of them had roots already on them, and I potted them up, and I did a whole unboxing video at the time. So if you didn't see that amazing unboxing from the wonderful Danny Rose, then do check out that video, because Danny was so kindly and very generously gifted me the most amazing collection of cacti and succulents. So do go and watch that unboxing, guys. You'll be amazed. I'll link that video up above and down below in the video description. And this was one of the Opuntia pads that didn't really have any roots, and it was also a little bit shriveled at the bottom. So I thought, well, I've got 2 of them already, and there's also 2 on here. I'm going to try an experiment. I'm going to put it into water just to hydrate it, and I actually was only going to do that for a couple of days, because I wouldn't recommend rooting cactus cuttings in water, because the obvious reasons, they're very, very rot prone. But it had completely calloused over at the end. It was totally dry when I got this from Danny, so I knew that it wouldn't really rot if I just left it for a couple of days. See if I could just plump it back up again. Anyway, guys, this is literally was in just a couple of days. I'm just going to show you here. Look at them roots. Awesome roots. And I was rooting it in this water. I didn't actually have the Opuntia touching the water. I had it above the water, so it wasn't in contact with the water actually. I had it like this, which I'm going to show you here. As you can see there, it wasn't touching the water because I didn't want it to rot, but I was hoping it would sense the water from underneath its calloused base, and that would encourage it to send out roots. But I didn't know whether it was going to work or not, but it has, and it has rooted amazingly. So obviously it just proves that if you've got Opuntia pads and they're fully calloused, and by callousing I mean if you remove a pad, then let this cut part, which is the bottom part here, fully dry and callous for at least 2 days, 48 hours, depending on the size of the Opuntia pad. Obviously, if it's a small cut like this, couple of days will do the job. But if it's a large, big pad cutting, then you may have to wait a couple of weeks or more and keep it to dry in a sort of shady place, obviously a dry place. But this experiment worked, and I just wanted to say that in the video, that I've successfully rooted this Opuntia cutting in the water method without actually touching the water. It's just a little bit above, so it wasn't in contact with the water, but it's enough to sense it, and it sent out roots. So now it's time to pop this up, and I've made the soil mix here of a very well draining cactus mix. Opuntias, they do need a very gritty type of soil. They're a little bit different to some other cacti in my opinion. They can certainly take a lot more moisture, certainly during the summer. So I've obviously made a mix up here of some pumice and a bit of horticultural sand and a little bit of loam soil. In this case I'm using John Ennis number 2. Here we go. Got the soil in there. Gently place that in there, and then put the soil all around. I'm just so amazed to be able to propagate this in water. And obviously pressing it down. There we go. Obviously, because when you're rooting cuttings in water, the roots are extra fragile, and obviously I wouldn't normally recommend watering a cactus straight after repotting. But because this has rooted in water, I am going to give this a wee little bit of water, just enough to moisten the soil. So that's something I wouldn't normally do, but because this has rooted in water, this is something I'm going to be doing. As I say, a lot of pumice in there, so it's very well draining. And stick the label, Opuntia jamacensis by Danny Rose. So Danny, thank you so much, and your others in the polytunnel are doing incredibly well. So there we go, just a little quickie video today. And if you want to see a whole collection of our Opuntia prickly pear cacti, then do go and watch a video I've made on our Opuntia prickly pear collection. So as I mentioned, a wee bit of water. This is something I never normally do when I repot cacti, because as I mentioned, it's been rooting in water. This is totally dry soil. I don't want the very fragile roots to die back. So just a wee bit of water, just enough to moisten the soil there. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put this now with all the other Opuntias in the polytunnel. Now here I am in our big polytunnel here, and we have a lot of different types of Opuntias, as I mentioned. So do go and watch that video of all the Opuntias we have in our collection. They're quite wacky plants. You're sort of the Marmite of the cactus world. You either love them or hate them. Personally, I love them. They're not the most tidiest of looking plants. They can grow very messy, and we're always having to prune them back. But they are quite amazing. And this is the other ones that Danny Rose gave us, the other Opuntia jamacensis here, and they're doing really well, as you can see. And this is the new one we've just potted up there. Well, not the new one, but the one that I've newly rooted, I should say. Happy days. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and for lots more tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Desert Plants of Avalon. And for more growing tips, don't forget to check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. I want to wish you all a fantastic prickly pear cactus powered day.